All right, we do
Hey,
have a. How you doing? Give me one moment if you don't mind,
all right.
please. Okay, just had to make sure I go live there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and have that discussion. Name is Twa.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, Twa? Are you at least 18, and did you disagree with something I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm over 18.
Cool. What did you disagree with?
I want to talk about the reparations for Black Americans.
Sure thing. We'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and put a 15 minutes on the clock. We'll go ahead and talk about reparations for Black Americans. Welcome up, Twa. What did you disagree with and why?
Well, personally, I'm an African American, so I feel that that means that I'm an educated African American that knows about the comprised history.
Hmm.
And I feel that the people who are championing for the term Black American are not aware that Black American is a nationality that includes other ethnic groups while they champion for reparations for chattel enslavement. Not all Black Americans endured chattel slavery. Only African Americans endured chattel enslavement in the US during the colonial era. And I think that the people who want to use the term Black American, they use it not knowing that it's a nationality as a replacement because they simply don't want to say that they're African. They don't want to use the term African American. You may see them use, they may call African American English AAVE or just Ebonics or just black speech or something to try to avoid the term African and all of our 300-year unique history as people who've been in North America. Um, since the Middle Passage or the transatlantic G side. So I feel like they're confused, but I do feel that African Americans deserve reparations. I actually feel that all Africans who endured the colonial abuse of the Europeans deserve reparations, and many African nations have fought for reparations, but they have been rebuffed. I feel like if African Americans and Afro Caribbeans and Afro Latins and the different what West and Central African ethnicities band together, we can get reparations not just from the United States, but from maybe a world source, because I feel that the entire world has been exploiting us. And us African Americans who endured chattel enslavement, because the type of enslavement that we endure, our entire culture, all of our stuff has been commodified across the globe. So I
Okay.
feel that the entire
Can I
world owes African Americans.
can I pause you something somewhere real quick?
Okay, yeah.
I don't disagree with anything that you said. The only clarified things that I said is that the one thing clarifying thing that I would make is that when I use Black American, I'm using this for a specific ethnic marker, essentially, because I had used African American before, but people have said the exact opposite of what you said. African Americans include everybody who's part of the Black diaspora, and Black
Oh
American
no.
is specific to a certain ethnic group. They would
Oh
say, or
no.
they would use ADOS or FBA. FBA and ADOS, those are a controversial term, which is why I didn't put it up there. But when I say Black Americans, I do mean that specific ethnic group because I'm Haitian. So if reparations were to happen, I know that I would need to get them from France. Now, the United States does owe Haiti restitution, like for the invasion and stuff like that. But reparations specifically should come from France, and in the United States, yeah, a reparation should be specifically towards African Americans. I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like maybe that's the misconception because, like, the truth is, we are so everybody around the world uses an ethnicity, comma, nationality. So the ethnicity, excuse me, the ethnicity is African American. The nationality is Black American because, of course, the U.S. doesn't allow us to just be American, which is why we fought in the civil rights era to be a portion in America, which is where the Black American term was invented in the late 1960s. But African American was established in the 1780s and was established at Harvard University in 1926
I
as
agree
a
with all that.
culminated history.
No,
So
I
that
agree
is
with all
our
that.
unique thing. So that is, I feel like that ethnic group, that is our ethnic group. And I think the misconception is that Black American is the ethnicity, but it cannot be because it has to be African American, just like in par with the other people who are in the diaspora. The Caribbeans cannot be African American. Even Africans who immigrate to the U.S. right now, they cannot become African American because African American is a term about our bicontinental existence. You see what I'm
Right, right.
saying?
No, no.
So
So
we
yeah, Twa, I agree with all that. You're not saying anything new that I don't disagree with. Well, what I'm saying is that the conversation that people have around that term African American, they usually take the opposite of what you're saying.
And
That's
I'm
actually the
saying
first
they're
time I'm
just
hearing someone.
wrong. They just don't
I,
know what the
okay, I
terms
got you.
actually mean something. And you
Mhm.
cannot just go with what people are assuming. So I think these people's in their assumption, I think as many of us who know the truth, we need to tell them how the categories go because they're unchangeable and they are global. Everybody, even a Chinese person whose ethnicity is Yi, they can't just say that they're just Yi or they're just Chinese because they're Yi, comma, Chinese and their race is Asian. We can call them yellow, but we have to use all three. I am casted as Black, but my race is African because that's the continent I'm indigenous to. And my ethnicity is African American. And since I'm in the US, I'm a Black American. So you have to use all three, and people can't just choose which one they want to use and just go, oh, well, since everyone's assuming things, I'll just change it. No, correct people. When African immigrants call themselves African American, tell them, no, you cannot be an African American. They have to be from whatever country, like Nigerian American or Kenyan American, because we left Africa before there were nations. So that's why we're African American. After the colonial era ended, they had nations. So when they leave these nations, they have to denote what nation they come from, like a Ghanaian American.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, and well, they had nations. This is the nations that they had don't exist anymore. But yeah, I agree with that. I agree with everything that you're saying. That's the only reason why I put Black American, because typically right now what's going on, you'll see people say, they're foundational Black American or ADOS or Black American to demarcate that ethnic group. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason I put
these
Black
new
American.
terms are dangerous. They were invented in 2020 during the rise of fascism in alignment with Trump and the new regime after he took over Twitter and TikTok eventually. But these rises in fascism have caused, I guess, a confusion and, of course, as what he liked to call misinformation, fake news and all this. And I feel like it's just been confusing people. And I feel that it's our duty as not only just African Americans who have been the leaders, I feel, of not only the entire African diaspora, but the entire world. The entire world has been looking to us for 500 years because we just, not only is we smart, we cool, we actually get the message across. I think it's our duty to not only carry on our ancestors' revolutionary tactics, but to stand strong and say our name. If you're emotional, you maybe don't want to be African, I don't know, just get over that, because the logic gotta go through, whether we emotional about it or not.
Yeah,
I just gotta say that.
No, 100%. I agree with all of that. I was just clarifying why I put Black instead of African American. I agree with everything you said. Everything you said is correct.
Okay, I guess we can move to another one then. There.
Yeah, sure. If you disagree with anything else, sure.
America's never great. Oh, I totally agree. F America. F the United States. I think it is it's not even a country. It is a colonial occupation, much like the UAE and Israel. They're not meant to exist. And I think that when we destroy the US, we as African Americans who have been in the North America for 500 years, we should also be able to stay here and build a better country, since we built the first one anyway. They built a stupid country. And I feel that we are smarter than them. I feel that the indigenous Americans, the Amerindians are smart, and they had grand civilizations here. So we could just band together, and maybe even with the immigrants who came here, to make a better thing than them colonizing Europeans. So yeah.
I'm 100% agreed. Like what I've always said is that Africa. Well, I'm pretty sure you read that book before, how Europe underdeveloped Africa, or you've heard of the book before if you haven't read it yet. But yeah,
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. So like those books, and if you look at when not just when Africans come to America, but when they go to the UK, you'll see that they have higher education standards than the white UK people living over there as well. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely untapped potential. I've always said the Black people in America, especially African Americans, have the most untapped potential out of anyone. It's not that we're not trying. Is the fact that you were purposely held down. You see what I'm saying? So,
they exploited us, and we get exploited. Like the crackers, they not only have been taking all of our culture and inventions and claiming it, they've been taking it to Asian cultures Asian countries to be mass produced by the millions and then sent across the world. So we're at the most disadvantage, I feel. If it's not just us, it's also the people of Congo. Free Congo, everybody.
Of course, free Congo, free Haiti, free Palestine, all
exactly. Free Palestine, all that. Free everybody. Free. I'm an anti-fascist. I'm an
So how is America
anti-imperialism.
Hold on, it's not your turn yet. Let me finish off with Twa first. All right.
Okay.
You're actually
so
third
she's
in
agreeing
line.
with you.
Hey, Goof, you're actually third in line. And the only reason I say Goof not to insult you guys, this is what your name is, but you're third in line. Give me a second, all right? Twa, yeah, I think we basically agree all the way. So
yeah, I'm gonna follow you.
Gotcha. You mind if I move on to the next person?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate you staying in the comments. If you want to come back up, definitely come back up. All right.
Okay, yeah. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.
No problem. You too. All right, Goof, I'm gonna get you in a second. Let me just speak to Schwein. There we go. Schwein, how's it going, Schwein? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I have on the board?
23. America was never great. You don't like living in America?
Yeah, sure. All right. So the way that I define greatness is basically your moral standards, your principles, essentially. If you're a nation that has pro-social, pro-freedom principles, then yeah, I'll agree with them, right? But then you have to build institutions around that, and you have to spread that opportunity and those institutions to everyone, including your most marginalized people. What we've seen in America is that they do have the principles of pro-social and pro-freedom, you know what I'm saying? Freedom, liberty, justice for all, opportunity for all, meritocracy, et cetera, et cetera. Those are all pro-freedom, those are all pro-social and pro-people. But does America actually build institutions to spread that to all of their citizens? It doesn't. And if you look at our history, not only has it not, it typically fights against doing so. It deliberately builds institutions that are discriminatory. Because of that, it can't be great. Now, sure, has America have? Let me finish. Does America have a great economy? Yeah. Isn't those powerful military? Yeah. Does it? Do a lot of people come here to, get more economic opportunity? Sure, that's what my parents did, right? At the end of the day, though, are those institutions built to? Are the institutions in America built to do that? A lot of institutions in America are built to actually exclude people and be discriminatory, and it was pushback that made it open up, and even that pushback is still pushback today for not opening up. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, that's why I say America was never great.
You said they're building institutions to oppress people, correct?
No, I said the institutions were built to be deliberately discriminatory.
Towards who?
Black people.
Such as?
The criminal justice system, finances, real estate, things like that.
What can a black person do that a white person cannot do? Excuse me, let me rephrase that. What can a white person do that a black person cannot do?
I don't think you heard my question. You're moving on to something else. When I said when we talk about institutions being discriminatory, it's not that you can't do it. It's that the institution discriminates against you.
Yeah, but I don't understand how it's going against you when you guys are literally granted massive amounts of rights. I don't understand how they're discriminating towards you.
Do you have rights too?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Right. So, but here's the thing. Well, let me give you an example of this. Are you more or less likely to be hired or get a house in a good area if you're a white person or if you're a black person?
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think that matters.
It does.
Not really.
It does. Multiple studies have shown that it does. Your opportunities depend on your race.
Studies. Multiple studies shows that it does. So I have to just believe you.
Okay, for example, there was a study done in, let me bring this up. I think it was done in 2019 or 2020. What they did was they sent 80,000 applications out. Those applications were equal in basically everything, experience, skills, education, etc. The only thing that was different was the race of the applicant. And they found that the black applicants had less callbacks than the white applicants, despite the fact that their resumes were essentially the same. If there was no discrimination in the job market, how would you explain that?
But that doesn't make sense to me. That's just the owners. They get to decide because they're the owners of their corporation. You don't have any say towards what they want.
Right, but that shows discrimination, doesn't it?
Not really.
Okay, so if I have the same application or resume as a white person, and the only difference between our resumes is that I'm black and they're white, and they refuse to hire me, even though if we have the same experience. What does that show you?
Can I ask a question there?
But that's up to the owner's decision.
I know it's up to the owner's decision.
Has the final say.
But hold on, Shawan. First of all, this is not made the people who do the hiring are not usually the owners. Usually the managers and stuff like that. It's not
the managers as well. It's the manager's decision.
It's not the owner of Bank of America making the decision, right?
Are they having interviews?
Hey, let me finish. Okay, so now everybody jump in. I'm talking to one person at a time. So, Shawan, I need you to pick up what I'm putting down here.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to steal
okay, great.
There's no difference. You and a white person, you guys have the same resume. There's no difference. The only difference is that you're black and he's white. But again, the decision is up to the management and the decision is up to the owners. Who are you to tell the management what he wants? You are applying at his job. What makes you have the right to tell him, no, you have to hire me, because if you don't, then you're discriminating me. That just sounds like victim mentality.
Shawan. It's not the fact that you have to, Shawan. It's not the fact that you have to hire me. It's really what the reason is around. If you're not hiring me specifically because of my race, that's discriminatory, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's up to the decisions towards the management department and the ownership department.
No,
you're the one applicating towards them.
Hey, Schwein, we have EEOC laws, don't we?
You're the one who's giving applications towards them, correct?
Schwein, we have EEOC laws, don't we?
What's EEOC laws?
Laws against hiring discrimination.
So what?
We have laws against it. No, it's not so what. There's laws against it.
Wait.
The reason why, Schwein, let me finish. The reason why there are laws against it is because obviously if you exclude people from the economy, it's going to be worse for the economy, isn't it?
Okay, all right, cool. But if they have laws against it, then you're telling then the laws are not really working, because you're over here telling me that there's 80,000. You said 80,000, right? The study that you gave me.
The study sent out 80,000 applications.
Yeah, so if you're telling me that there's laws against discrimination, then that law is not even working. If there's discriminating towards these black people, right?
You're correct. You are correct.
Right. So then, but again, these management departments and these CEOs departments, you guys are the ones applicating towards them. You get what I'm saying? So, who are you to tell these persons that own these businesses to tell them you must hire this criteria, because if you don't, you are discriminating me?
Yeah, that's the definition of discrimination, my guy. If you don't
hire someone, understand that.
Hold on, Schwein. You keep on asking the same question, but you know the answer already. You're saying, who are you to say that if you don't do this, you're discriminated against me? That's literally the definition of discrimination.
Yeah, but that's victim mentality.
That's not victim mentality.
Kinda is.
Discrimination is a bad thing.
Okay, again, you're applicating to them, right? You're giving them the application, right?
Schwein. Discrimination is a bad thing. Racism leads to bad results every single time.
You're giving them the application, correct?
Irrelevant.
You're giving them
irrelevant.
Right? Who?
Irrelevant.
What do you mean irrelevant?
We're talking about discrimination. Discrimination is a bad thing.
Does this applicator?
It's not about victim mentality. It's about advocating for an equal society.
Dude, why would we not
want to live in an equal society,
we
right?
Do.
Everyone, hold on, Schwein. We don't live in an equal society if you already, Schwein, we don't live in an equal society if you're already tacitly admitting that discrimination happens in the job market. That's not equal.
But you're the ones giving the application towards them.
Schwein,
they have the final say.
You actually did respond to what I said. You said we live in an equal society, but you're tacitly admitting that we have discrimination in the job market. That is not an equal society. Do you want to live in an equal society or not?
Yeah, we're talking about equality.
Hold on. We're talking about equality, right? I said that this shows that we don't live in an equal society. You said that we do. However, you're also saying, oh, you're applying to them, so they discriminate against you. So what? We're living you don't care about living in an equal society. You just say that.
If you don't care about living in an equal society. What can a white person do that a black person cannot do?
That's irrelevant. We're not talking about what we can do or cannot do. We're talking about discrimination.
To you. Holy
because
shit,
it's not because you're not answering the question. Because it's not my point. I didn't say that we can't do things. I never said that you can't go out and get a gun and I can't. I never say that. That's not what I said. I'm talking about discrimination in institutions.
What we're not talking about
we are not talking about what people can or cannot do. We're talking about discrimination within institutions. That's what we're talking about. Asking me what I can do that you can is irrelevant.
It always is, man. It always is. But what mind boggles me is how the person who's giving the application towards the management or the CEO, they have the final say because they're the ones who you're giving the application to.
I understand that, Schwein. I'm not. That's not my point.
I'm black.
Schwein,
I give them the application, so you must hire me.
You are missing my
It's
points.
discrimination.
You are missing my points.
Victim.
I'm not saying they have to hire me because I'm black. I'm saying that if they don't hire me simply because I am, that is discrimination. That's
but
what I'm
it
saying.
always is, bro. It always is. Because you're black, so you're the victim.
Right. So Schwein, you're really not.
No, I know, dude. I hear what you're saying.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna say it again. What mind boggles me is you're the one giving the application towards them.
Schwein. Once again, I understand I'm giving the application towards them.
So they have the final say.
Shut up. No one doubted that. No one doubted that I'm giving the application towards them. No one doubted that they have the final say. If that say happens to be, I don't want to hire this person simply because of their skin color, that is the problem.
Okay, great. Now guess what you can do? You can go look for another job. Exactly.
Of course, I can just go somewhere else. You're just telling I'm employed, right? This is not my full-time job.
I'm not talking about you.
Okay, great. So yeah, I can go apply for another job. No one said I can't go apply for another job.
Yeah, that's great.
But the Schwein, the point I'm trying to make is that clearly there is discrimination in the job market. Clearly.
No, listen. You might call it discrimination. We're just gonna disagree to agree here. You call it discrimination. What I call it is you're giving the application towards them. They have the final say. You do not.
And
they do because you're giving the application to them.
Okay, so Schwein.
They can do whatever the hell they please.
Be quiet. I'm gonna ask you this question, right? If let's say you own a finance company. Someone has 5 years of finance experience, an MBA from like Harvard or some shit like that. They sound very, very qualified for the job, right?
Sorry. Say it again. I was drinking my Gatorade.
Let's say someone has 5 years of experience in the finance market, an MBA from Harvard, a whole bunch of accommodations, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think they'll be qualified for the job?
For the job? No, you have to have experience into that job. Whoever fits that job, and that requires your experience.
Schwein. I just said the person has 5 years of experience.
And the other person's an MBA guy?
Hold on. I said one person, right? This is one guy. 5 years of experience in finance, MBA from Harvard, a whole bunch of accommodations in the finance industry. They may be qualified for that job, correct?
Yeah.
Another person has a bachelor's in finance, 0 experience. Do you think they're less qualified for the job?
Yeah.
Okay. What they found out is that when they got black applicants who are more qualified than white applicants, the white applicant would get more of a callback than the black ones. How do you explain that?
Where was this? Give me an example.
Yeah, sure. This was a meta-analysis done around 2005 to 2020.
And what's the name of this person?
It's called the State of Hiring Discrimination Meta-Analysis of Recent Correspondence Experience. It was done by Lippens, Vermeeren, and B.A.A.S.H.
Vermeeren and B.A.A.S.H. So the person's name that had the 5 years experience.
No, I'm not talking about the name. I'm talking about the people who wrote the study. I'm just giving you an example of what I'm saying.
So you're telling me, so you can't even give me the name of the person, but you're telling me I have to believe the people who wrote the study?
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
I wasn't trying the name.
Schwein, I was giving you an example of what I'm talking about, bro. Are you keeping up? Are you tracking
give me
what I'm saying?
The name of the 5 years experience, please.
Schwein, that was a fictional example, bro. Are you tracking?
So it didn't even exist.
I told you.
Yeah.
Schwein, I told you.
Yeah, I agree.
Schwein, hold on, wait, stop, chill. I told you that I'm giving you an example of what I'm talking about, right? And what I'm saying is that Right. It's an example of what I'm talking about, though.
Got it. Okay.
What I'm saying is, what is that? It's an example of what I'm talking about. When they actually go out there and look at these studies to see if it's going to be a more qualified black applicant versus a less qualified white applicant, they found out the white applicant still gets more callbacks for the job. So clearly there's an issue with discrimination, isn't there?
Sure.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's a problem. That means that your opportunities are based wholly. I'm saying that your opportunities are based wholly on your skin color. If it's not real, why did the study find that then?
But hold on. But you told me that this study that was wrote wasn't real. So then
no, it's not that bad. It wasn't real. I'm saying with the example I gave you was example of what I'm talking about. That wasn't a real example. That wasn't a real thing that happened in the real world. That's an example of what I'm talking about. What the study did was they looked through a whole bunch of industries in the United States, and they got black applicants who had high qualifications and white applicants who had lower qualifications. They sent those resumes out and see who got more callbacks. The white ones did.
Okay, got it. So what you're complaining about is basically white people, they have more advantages because they can get the jobs quicker, easier, better than black people do, correct?
Yeah, just for being white, and that's an issue.
Okay, great. And when you say that, it just doesn't really make sense to me because there are a lot.
Why would a business do that, right? But I would ask you.
It's up to them. It's their business.
Again, but yeah, it's up to them. It's their business. But you doubted that we have discrimination in our society, and the two ones that I brought up shows that we just talking about hiring. We didn't get to real estate. We didn't get to the criminal justice system. It's just hiring, bro.
Yeah, bro. You guys are pretty much the victims of everything. All right, that's what I'm really coming down seeing to it.
Yeah, you're not good faith. We're just gonna go ahead and move on. You're definitely not a good faith interlocutor. If you're not gonna just engage within the conversation, you're not good faith. All right. So Goof, how's it going, Goof? Would you mind giving me a second, please?
Absolutely.
All right. There it is. There's the button to share. All right, give me 1 second. I just gotta share this with somebody real quick. All right, appreciate that. I do apologize. All right, so Goof, how's it going? Are you?
What's up, man?
You did say that you were at. I'm sorry. Can I get your age, please?
Yeah, I'm 35.
Great. All right. Did you want to talk about number one?
I mean, I want to continue from what he was saying for real quick, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. All right. So, yeah, hiring discrimination is an issue. You disagree?
So I guess my question would not be, is it an issue? It's hard to believe statistics like that because of all the variables. I mean, people cannot get hired simply because they didn't interview well, or, you know, I would hire somebody with actual more street experience than even education every single time. So how do they know it's specifically because of skin color? Are these interviews that actually had, or are these just resumes sent in that didn't get calls back?
Resumes sent out that didn't get callbacks.
I mean, are they listing race?
Yes.
Okay. You know, there's a lot of people that interview nowadays and never get called. I mean, they don't even interview. They just send out applications. I mean, on all sides, that's just a given.
Right. That's also that.
I mean,
that's all
Indeed is going downhill because people are sending out 500 applications and getting maybe 20, 30, 50 interviews.
Correct, because there's a bunch of ghost jobs. But like, I agree with you there. People are just sending out applications. But what these studies show is that when it's a black applicant who has more experience and a white applicant who doesn't, and the white one gets the call back and the black one doesn't, there's clearly an issue there.
But do you think that's changing?
Well, this study was made back in 2005, 2025. Yeah. So is it changing?
You don't think that white males are now starting to lose the upper hand, though?
No.
I mean, this is also statistically proven that now white males are under fire and they're not getting jobs as much as they used to.
You sure?
Yeah, pretty sure. I mean, it's a thing that's happening. It's DEI and everything that white males are now discouraged. IT especially is now you're seeing a lot less white males in it.
Yeah, because we're getting a lot of folks from India because they're cheaper. You said white males are getting less jobs.
They are starting to see less jobs. Correct. They're starting to see more people hired over them, especially women.
Well, when it comes to DEI, that actually just like affirmative action, it actually advantaged white women more than anyone else.
Well, I'd say black women more than they're the highest educated in the country.
Right, but that's not affirmative action.
What do you mean? It's how they still have to have a certain percentage of what they're looking for.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's DEI.
DEI is not a quota.
Well, I mean, it is if you want to run. It's just like a ecological score.
No, it's
on
not.
A business.
It's not a quota. You can't do that. I mean, what if you're saying that all these companies,
like
if you're saying all these companies are
down, but it's a quota, or else it wouldn't be a thing in the first place. I mean, do you think that somebody should get an advantage over just because their lack of ability, but they're not represented?
Right, but that's not what DEI does.
What does it do then?
What DEI?
What does it stand for?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
But that's what it stands for. That doesn't mean that's what it does.
So how are you gonna have DEI in a company if they're all white? Is that DEI?
All right. The way that DEI works is that it actually is a recruiting. Well, it works several different ways. Number one, it could be a recruiting techniques to diversify your hiring pool, right? But that doesn't mean that you're going to go after any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street. You're just going to go ahead and look for qualified minorities. That's number one. But the second thing that I would say is that there are white men who are veterans. There are white men who are disabled. There are white men who are LGBTQ. That's also included in DEI. The DEI can also be a process. For example, let's say there's a white man who's disabled and is in a wheelchair. That wheelchair ramp in the office, that's considered part of DEI because DEI actually means DEIA, and that A means for access. So for him to get access to the building, there needs to be a wheelchair ramp, right? That will be part of the DEIA.
So you think that a white person in a wheelchair is going to get more included than a black person in a wheelchair?
Probably. It's actually been shown before that when you change the race of someone who's disabled, they get more sympathy.
Maybe 20 years ago, sure, but not to white.
No, still now. They did social experiments with this, like a white person who's blind and a black person who's blind. Like the white person who's blind who's looking around. Exactly. It's out. No, it's out. Hold on.
Variables are so.
Go. Hold on. I get you. Hold on. I get you that the variables are all over the place, right? I understand that. Social experiments on YouTube are usually not the best metrics of things. So when you actually look at if this is true according to like data analysis to see are people who are disabled, do they get more sympathy whether they're a woman or they're a certain race? And it shows, absolutely. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, like, come on. Can we really like? It's all variables, and it depends on the person who's interviewing you. I mean, it has nothing like really.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that there are variables and there are interviews, etc. But I think it's just about impossible that every black person who interviewed just sucked. That's not going to be possible.
Well, yeah, but it's also per capita, right? I mean, like.
Right, but there's no really way to. I don't think there's any study I could look at that.
Yeah, so like subjective, right? I can find 10 things that say coffee's bad for you. You can find 10 articles that say coffee's good for you. Right, but when it comes to the point about your interviews, there's not really. I don't think there's any data that actually tracks who did well in the interview and who didn't. That's not possible to look up. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's like we'll just have to assume. I mean, what I'm saying is that we'll just have to assume.
But that all these black folks, right? Like we can also base it off of experience.
Right. What I'm saying, Goof, is that when we have to assume that all these black folks who did these interviews or just sucked at the interview, and that's impossible to happen. But when we look at experience again, the studies that go out had applicants who had more experience but didn't get the call back. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's where we're tussling with here. Clearly, there's an issue with assuming that black people can't do the job, which is a thing. That's actually is looked at too.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a thing. I would just say it's a rarity, though, especially nowadays.
But it's not, because these are recent.
Yeah, but we don't make rules
surveys
based off the exceptions, right? We make rules based off of the majority.
Right. But what I'm saying is that, of course, there are like millions and millions of jobs out there, right? So you got to get a sample size. So 80,000 or 90,000 is a pretty good sample size to see what's going on in the job market. And if they see that this is what's going on in the job market, that speaks a lot to, hiring discrimination essentially. And this is just hiring too. We didn't get to criminal justice, real estate, those issues.
Okay, I guess left policies are better for people. In what way?
Universal healthcare is better for people. Walkable cities is better for people.
It's better for people, but is it doable? Is it
yes.
financially responsible?
Yes.
Okay, so look at almost any state in the U.S., right? They all used to be Republican, correct? Except for maybe New York for the past, 50, 70 years. Boston would be one of them that was pretty blue for the most part for the starting. California, okay? California, always red, right? And up until the 90s, completely California, Oregon, Washington, all voted red, 1960s, 80s, maybe 90s, pretty much California 90s. And then you see blue cities popping up, ruining the place, right? And you can follow that in New York. You can follow that in Boston. You can follow that in California. You can follow that in Utah. You can follow that in Arizona. You can follow that in Texas. So how is that better? Because they're riding off of the red states that used to make the policies and built a great foundation for economies.
I'm not even sure what you even mean or are talking about, because a lot of this is much more complicated than a blue state rise up and now the entire state is shit. Like that's not really the way it works.
I mean, it's not really. There is no blue state other than maybe New York and not Vermont, but New York and Massachusetts, right? Like there's Georgia's a swing state, right?
Yeah, Georgia's a swing state right now. Texas is actually purple. It just
but see, and there's a perfect example. Utah, perfect example. Utah, always red, built a great economy, started going blue in Salt Lake City County, and now crime and homelessness is on a skyrocketing rise.
I don't think that's true, because crime has been trending downward nationwide for decades now.
Nationwide, yeah, but I mean,
and not only that,
same with California, right?
Hold on. Let me just finish. When it comes to things like crime and homelessness, that's not controlled by who your mayor or whatever is, because homelessness is a huge issue in Miami, and we just voted for a Democrat mayor.
Is it a bigger issue in Miami, or is it a bigger issue in California?
Miami, because
California is number one for homelessness.
No, I understand. Oh, okay, I got you. California is number one for homelessness, but you're comparing a state to a city. What I'm talking about when it comes to,
you're right. Correct.
Yeah, when it comes to Miami, right? We just voted for a Democrat mayor a few months ago. Homelessness has been an issue down there for decades. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really, and we've had a Republican mayor since probably the early 2000s. So it's not really an issue of, which party is running the city. Like homelessness is an issue of like
that's
economic.
Debatable. Gavin Newsom lost 30 billion, 20 billion fighting it. Nobody knows where it's at.
Yeah, California's budget issues are like, I get that. They have huge budget issues, right? But what I'm saying is that when it comes to a city like Miami, who's had a Republican mayor since the early 2000s and still has a homeless issue, it shows that the issue is not who's running the city. There's other factors at play.
Okay, Minnesota. Take Minnesota.
Yeah, what about?
I mean, you want to talk about universal health care? We can't even stop fraud, and Medicare and Medicaid are the two most fraudulent systems in the U.S.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Medicaid and Medicare?
Yes, they are the two most fraudulent systems in the U.S. They lose an annual of $180 billion on Medicare alone. So why is it happening in the state that's complete? Like Walz just went before Congress.
Yeah, I just
lied straight to their faces.
Yeah, I just looked this up. They do have some issues, but There's no official data
Dude,
that
we've
officially
lost
state. Hold on,
over
let me finish.
$2 trillion.
Let me finish. There's really no data to show that they're the most fraudulent system.
Okay. Well, okay. So what would be higher?
Don't know. There's no there's no hold on. There's no analysis that says this. This is basically
so just saying there's no like it's. I work in healthcare industry. That's one of my side businesses.
That's what I'm saying is that I understand what you're trying to say, right? But what you're saying is not really backed up by any data. No data shows this.
Okay, look how much
what
how much fraud,
hold on, wait, listen.
waste and abuse.
I understand that
Medicare and Medicaid.
Goof. I understand that fraud happens in Medicaid and Medicare. What I'm trying to say is that there is no. Hold on, Goof. I understand that. What I'm saying is that there is no official study that said that those two are the most fraudulent ones. Because I used to be in the military, I would say that one is the most fraudulent one.
Well, I mean, in what way?
The Pentagon has failed audits every single year
because they're the fucking government.
And they use.
But that's. I mean, that would be the same thing as Medicare and Medicaid, right? Because it's just being funded back to either the people that are frauding the system or the people that are helping them fraud the system, just like in Minnesota.
Right. We understand that it faces fraud issues, right? Everyone knows that it faces fraud issues, but Medicaid and Medicare are not really.
Do you believe in universal?
I believe in universal healthcare. Yeah, that would actually stop fraud.
In what way? How it would run off of Medicare and Medicaid? You have the state controlling an entire.
Right. So the reason why Medicaid and Medicare would, but the reason why if we had universal healthcare, why we'll stop that is because it'll cut out all the middlemen. The reason why these improper payments are all happening is you have to have somebody on the inside to make the improper payments. Yeah,
but it goes to the government, who is the most inefficient redistribution management in the world. I mean,
not necessarily.
Yeah, 100% necessarily. What about taxes?
Right. Not what I'm saying is the reason why I say not necessarily is because this seems to be a unique American problem. Other countries don't really have this issue.
Okay. Canada has a way worse issue and they have universal healthcare.
Yeah. Canada has issues, right? But their issues are not as bad as ours. And France has
40 million people.
And France has 69 million people. They don't have the issue that we have. Like Japan has 100 million people, they don't have the issues that we have. China has 1 billion people and they don't have the issues that we have.
So it's not an issue with. They have worse issues.
Not Japan, China, and France do not have our issues.
I guarantee China does, because they never report truthfully. It's illegal for them to report that what the CCP has not allowed them to. Even their financial sector, they're going to sit there and tell you that their financial sector is great, that their economy is better than anything in the world. They're constantly in the red. They're constantly being screwed.
What? What does that mean?
What do you mean? Go look at their markets right now. I guarantee it's in the red by at least 1.5% more than ours.
Their markets are in the red. What does that mean?
Like their economy's in the red. What do you mean? Like
it's not.
The Dow.
Their economy grew.
You know how the Dow is in the green or red.
The last quarter report, their economy grew, and that's not just from China.
Of course, it grew because they're fabricating numbers.
But that didn't come just from the CCP. That came from like other international observers.
Okay. America has the best economy. When we're doing bad, the entire world's doing bad. Do you think China's doing better than America?
Yeah, China's economy grew. Ours didn't.
Okay, they're also just got found out that they're reporting way under their numbers of population by like 500 million people.
Yeah, because there's 1 billion people out there. They're gonna have difficulty. Sure.
No, not difficulty. They're lying. They're actively lying.
Wait, how do you know that?
What do you mean? Because why wouldn't they?
All right, that's not really shows how you know. They could just make mistakes as 1 billion.
You think that the CCP is dumb enough to not be able to count human beings?
I'm not saying that they're dumb enough. I'm saying that even in America, we don't have as many people as them, and we undercount our census all the time.
Yeah, we don't overcount our census by 500 million people.
We don't overcount. We undercount. Like you said, hold on. Are you saying they undercount or overcount?
No, they overcount.
Oh, they overcount. Oh, yeah, sure. That could happen too because they have 1 billion people.
They're gone. Like 10 years, they're gone. Just like Japan.
And in 10 years, who's gone?
China and Japan.
I'm not sure. Well, maybe Japan because they have a population issue. But
Same
China,
thing with China. Yes,
China has an issue.
a huge old problem.
China has an old people problem
people.
and 30 million men who are never going to get married. Yeah, sure. That's that's an issue over there, but the population is I don't think it's gonna.
I'm just who does it better? If America was never great, who was great? I guess would be my question.
Well, when it comes to, I'm not comparing America to anybody else. I'm comparing America to
nobody's
its own
great.
principles. Right, I'm comparing America to its own principles. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you want to have universal healthcare like France and like Canada?
Yeah, universal healthcare
where people can't see doctors for 2 years, so they actively tell them, "Hey, we'll help you kill yourself instead."
That
happens here too.
Yeah, that happens here actually. It does happen
in what way? To help kill people unless they're terminal.
Yeah, we have euthanasia here.
Yeah, for terminal patients, not for anything else.
They don't have that in Canada and France.
Yes, they do.
People waiting 2 years.
They just helped a guy kill himself, and his parents found out that day because it was going to be too expensive and too long of a waiting period to get him into mental therapy.
It was going to be too long.
And he was not even terminal. This has happened numerous times.
Yeah,
They have a system called B.A.A.S.H.
What was his name?
You can look it up. Just go look up. Canadian was killed. Parents found out the same day.
That's your fact, though. You should know everything.
Oh yeah, because I remember the names of stories.
Hold on.
Of articles that I read.
Everybody,
go look up the soldier that wanted mental health. Couldn't do it for 2 years, so they said, "You know what? Here, if you want, we can help you kill yourself." If you think, go look up MAID. It's an entire system. MAID. It is specifically there to help people assist in suicide. It is.
Oh yeah. They have that. Hold on, wait. Everybody chill. Because I know we have other people who wants to come up. All right. So excuse me. MAID is a thing in Canada, right? If they have irredeemable conditions and cause suffering, and you can
suffering exactly, but not terminal.
Exactly. Is legal in Canada for eligible adults with grievous, irredeemable physical conditions causing intolerable suffering. Let's see, fatal medication. Okay, yeah. They have a right to die. They assist in you dying if you don't want to live anymore. They assist in helping you do that. Yeah, sure.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, there are movements like that in America too. The right to die. Yeah,
but for terminal issues. Purely. For terminal issues, and there are people who exactly. I think we can all agree with that.
So yeah, you can agree or disagree with Canada.
What's the average wait time?
Average wait time in Canada?
Yes,
probably a few months.
No, I mean just in ER. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
Average wait time in Canada for the ER is about 5 hours.
Usually 7 to 18.
That's not what I found.
You can see numerous people posting about how they've been in the ER for 15 hours. They look up on the clock. It says 15 hours until they can see the next person.
That happens in America too. What do you mean?
Rarely. In maybe like
right. So what you're talking about? Right. I got you.
Metropolitan areas.
I got you. It happens rarely in America. That also happens rarely in Canada.
No, it's a lot less rare. I would say it's the majority. They had a time period where they couldn't even have ambulances in a certain a certain region come pick people up.
It's not.
It is. It's much per capita. It's much higher than the U.S. I guarantee it.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay. So then, if America was never great, then why live here? Why move here?
Because there was better economic opportunity here, and my parents couldn't get to Canada or France.
No, not you specifically. Sorry, sir. I'm the majority for the past 50 to 75 to 100 years. It has been the number one year after year after year immigration destination for the past 75 years.
Yeah, because it's the largest economy on the planet. More opportunities. Now and that, more propaganda too. Like America hegemony basically. We have better propaganda than everyone. America hegemony.
Okay, but who? I mean, like, really, who came here and was like, "Oh fuck, I'm tricked."
Yeah,
they tricked me.
My parents.
Huh?
My parents.
Okay, so why didn't they turn around and just leave?
Because Haiti's in chaos, so might as well stay.
So stay in a better place, right?
Yeah, might as well stay.
So why not go to Britain or Canada or Australia or Norway?
They've already set up a life here. Why would they do that?
Okay, so what were they lied to about?
About the equality and equal opportunities. When
Like,
they got,
dude,
once they got here, once they got here, how you could ask me the question and interrupt. Once they got here, they immediately experienced racism. And once they got here, they immediately experienced that the fact that your skin color can block your opportunities immediately.
And is the same way in almost existently every country in the world.
So
you don't think Japan's racist? You don't think that China's racist? You don't think that Norway or Poland is racist?
Japan is very racist, yes.
Okay. So,
but I mean, we're talking about America.
Who you're trying to talk about, but like that's never going to exist.
Yeah, it can never exist. We can stop racism. Okay. By having conversations like this. We can stop racism. Instead of simply saying, "Oh, it's always going to be there," and just throwing our hands up.
It will always be there. You can minimize it.
I believe that human beings are better than that. We can get rid of racism. We don't have to always not like each other for skin color. That's stupid.
Well, yeah, of course, because people who are racist are fucking stupid.
You have immediate service.
Wait, what?
In a Canadian emergency room, they have a no-wait policy. So what he's saying is not true.
What I'm saying or what he's saying?
What you're saying
is not true.
Compared to what? On what? What do you mean?
Because you get immediate service in Canada. That's why I kept on telling you that what you're saying is not true. That you have to wait 15 hours on average in Canada. That's not going to happen.
It is. You
get immediate service.
See people looking at clocks that say wait time.
Yeah, I know that happens. It happens in America too. What you're saying that happens on average, and it doesn't.
Capita, averagely, it happens more in Canada.
Okay,
guarantee it. I can guarantee it.
Okay, so per capita wait times in Canada are 15 hours.
Per capita, it's going to be higher than America. Correct. We have much more hospitals. We have much more healthcare. Like, who are you going to trust? I guess would be it. Would you rather go into debt to stay alive, or would you rather get shitty care?
Wait a minute. But first of all, that's a false premise anyway. Because first of all,
why's that?
We actually don't have more hospitals. We're actually losing hospitals.
Okay, but we have more than Canada.
All I'm saying is, like,
look up the top medical schools and where they're at.
Rural areas are losing hospitals because private equity.
I live in a rural area. I can get in and out. I went to urgent care last week. I was in and out with 2 hours.
Yeah, because you're in a rural area, right? You talk.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you what you're comparing to our city.
You're trying to say that a country that sells an aspirin in a hospital for in a cup to give you that for $10 is good medical care. And
no, I'm saying that we have the top medical schools in the country, the top medical schools in the world. Look at the top medical schools. Look it up, and then see how many out of 10 are in the U.S.
All right, so
you'd pay $100 for in America, you would find for 20 cents in Canada. You're talking nonsense. The most
I'm not saying the prices are right.
The most expensive medical care happens right here in America.
Absolutely, it does.
Else, even dentistry, you can get done better for a few $100.
Absolutely.
Jump out of America.
Dental is not considered health insurance, healthcare.
Or go to Canada. You're just
which is a problem.
Nonsense.
All right, so yeah. Let's give it. Let's get this to you, Goof. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's give this to you. Yeah, sure. Let's say the wait times in Canada in the ER are a little bit longer. There could be, excuse me, there could be multiple reasons for why that is. But one thing that we know that Canada is better than America is that their costs are significantly lower.
And I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
And people don't go into medical debt just paying off their healthcare bills. That doesn't happen
because people suck in America at picking health plans.
Or we can just have
this year.
Hold on.
Pretty good.
Goof. How about we just have a universal system and not worry about all that?
Because there's too much.
Let me finish. With 350 million. Yes, you can. You
cannot.
You can. Then how does China do it with 1 billion people? This is crazy. You can have a universal system with 330 million people.
And how much tax money goes to them?
How much tax money goes to what? What are you talking about?
from Canadians. How much tax money is pulled from them
before you
for their
answer
healthcare
that, I want
system?
to say he's a true Christian, simply because when the shit don't work, they blame the customer.
Yeah.
No,
All right,
I
so-
believe in capitalism. I'm sorry. I think
Hey,
it's
hey,
I think it's revolutionary.
It's not. But we have to move on. It's not. We have to move on.
Who's doing better? Who's doing better?
Socialist countries. So
In
when
what
it comes,
way? We fit their bill for their military. Of course, they're doing better.
we don't
They
fit the
don't
bill
have
for
to
China,
pay
do we?
shit.
We don't fit the bill for China, do we?
China does not have a better. Dude, China will cease to exist. Would you rather live in China?
Bro.
Would you rather live in China?
Yes.
Well, they pay
Then why don't
$100
you?
for their apartments. I don't speak
Okay,
Mandarin.
how many Canadians
I
come
don't
down
speak-
to the U.S. for healthcare versus how many Americans go up to Canada for healthcare?
A lot.
Americans
So,
go to Canada more
so
for
hold on,
the-
everybody pause. We just keep jumping to too many things, man.
But how many Canadians come down?
Hold on, I don't care. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't
What I'm
matter.
saying
What
is,
do you
no,
mean?
it doesn't. What I'm saying is that the way that you're thinking that universal healthcare will work is the way that we do it in America right now, where basically they do the Medicare system essentially. But that's not what it would be.
Propose?
What I would propose is a single payer system, the same way they have in France or the same way they have in Switzerland, where basically our tax money goes into the risk pool, just like how all insurance systems work. It goes into a risk pool, and then the hospitals or the healthcare providers simply send the bill to that government agency, and they get paid for it. Cut out all the middlemen.
You don't think that they're going to send fraudulent bills, though?
No.
Already sending fraudulent bills. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but the politicians are getting them, not.
It's not going to happen because
Right,
there's
the reason
too much
why-
money in politics.
Exactly.
Politicians
The reason-
are making money.
Two things that can fix
The
this
people
country.
that represent the
Hold on, everybody pause,
pharmaceuticals are the ones that are writing the legislation.
Exactly.
Because half of them come out of office and go right into these
Exactly.
Into the industries,
So
exactly.
shit ain't gonna work.
Right.
Two
Okay.
things that will fix this country.
So
you
hold
limit
on, Goof.
terms and
Hold on,
you
Goof.
illegal. You make
Goof.
lobbying
Hold on.
illegal.
Yeah, I agree with those two things. So, but the thing is about when it comes to universal healthcare, the reason why they just won't be any fraudulent bills is because the reason fraudulent bills happen now is because of all the expenses due to the middlemen. Going through all those middlemen is what drives the cost up. If there is no middleman, there's no need to send fraudulent bills.
I disagree, but okay.
Okay. All right, we've been here for almost 30 minutes, but I do appreciate
I'll let you get on with other people.
Gotcha. All righty. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all being up. It looks like I have some friendly. Someone dropped. Apologize for the person that dropped. I know that took a long time and you had wanted to talk, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to Willie. Willie, how's it going, Willie? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board? Willie, you there? Willie,
It's not.
you there, Willie? All right, how about Tommy? Tommy, you there?
Yes, sir.
Tommy, are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
here.
I am. I'm 50. Not really. I agree with everything you have to say. I wanted to comment real briefly. I'm not going to take up 10 minutes
Gotcha. Now I'll get back to Willie. Go ahead.
about a lot of his house. Do some housekeeping on that kid. First of all, we pay more than twice per capita what other countries pay that have universal health care in taxes, and we don't have it. We pay twice in taxes and don't have it. Secondly, China's economy has the means of production that they bought from us. Our economy is smoke and mirrors. So, what's going to happen here? I don't know. They have the means of production. We do not.
Correct. All
And
right.
secondly, my wife's family is from Canada, and once her relatives become a certain age, they will not come to the States because they can't risk having something happen to them and being stuck in an American hospital. That's the reality. And also, 40 to 70,000 people per year are unalived in America waiting for healthcare. You know, and the bottom line is our life expectancy is going down. And I think that's the one metric that you should look at when you're looking at universal healthcare. Our lives are shortening because we don't have proper healthcare. And one more thing, every single country has better basic healthcare. If you go to Ecuador, everybody sees the doctor every couple months. Everybody goes to the dentist. Basic stuff is taken care of before it steamrolls into bigger things. And they also have a life expectancy of almost 80 years old. So that's the difference. We don't take care of our people on the basic level, which we should. And it's a shame in the richest, wealthiest country ever to exist that we're living like this. And I'd like to see it get better.
Gotcha.
Hey, man,
All right, appreciate
you do great work, my man. And you have great patience. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I had to learn. But
thank you for giving me time. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. I appreciate you.
Have a great day.
You as well. All right, Willie. Your time to shine, Willie. Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Yes, I am way over 18. As a matter of fact, got my first Social Security check this year. I know what last year.
Oh man, you sound way younger. But yeah, what did you disagree with and why?
No, I didn't really disagree with too much, other than the fact that I worked in the medical industry 25 years, and I did see on both ends, as far as certain people not getting hired, as far as Black people in management and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, me and this other guy were the only 2 Black managers in the whole corporation in North Carolina. And when he went and asked for a raise, and he found out that a white lady was making way less than him, and she didn't even have a degrees or the same experience he had, even though she had more medical experience as far as kidney disease. But he found out like, what? You're making more than me. And she was going back to school. And when he went to the head management, man, they terminated him just like that. But before he left, though, he gave everybody, he went and looked at the what is it called? Our job titles, and found out that they changed the titles and changed our descriptions and paid us less more. They'll tell us, well, you hired us this, but then when you looked at your job title in the profile, they had you titled as something else to pay you less. And when he found it out, he said, let me go look through this. And when he did that and gave all of us a raise, man, they let him go just like that. And then they tried to say he wasn't doing this and doing that. It was a big stink, but I saw firsthand, racism as far as money, what people get paid, experience and stuff like that. I even saw a nurse where she was Black and she had more qualification, but they didn't like her. They didn't like her personality. But then when she did get a job, that they set her up so good to fail. They said, oh, see, she ain't qualified. But then they put another lady in, and they sent us over there who was in the paperwork part to straighten out the white lady's mess. That she was worse than the Black lady. So they sent us over there to straighten out her stuff. So when the state came in, oh, everything looks good on my behalf. So I was like, hold on, wait a second. And then a few years later, I said, hold on, wait a second. We went over there to straighten out her mess. And what? And so the Black lady was doing good, but then they sent us a white secretary in to sabotage her. Then they brought a white lady in, and then next thing you know, the Black lady was doing good. But what happened? They sent the white lady in to replace the Black lady, and come to find out they had us to go in and straighten out everything, make it organized, make it neat for her, and made her job a whole lot easier, and made it seem like she knew what she was doing. So yeah, I've seen that personally.
Gotcha. All right, Willie. Hey, I appreciate that, man. We're gonna try to get some more people up, more opposition, but definitely stay around. All right.
Okay, no problem.
All right, appreciate you. Shrill, what's going on with you, bro? I see you up here, and Bacombe. God damn, I'm gonna learn how to say your name sooner or later, man.
Baku, man. Just uses phonetics.
Bakum, man. How's it going, man? I see y'all up here. All good. Yeah, we're just waiting for more opposition to come in. Last conversation we had with that person, it went on kind of long. That's probably why people dropped out. But tap that screen. And how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good, actually. It's just another day for me.
Gotcha. All right, y'all. So quick commercial break. I do have a gift goal. The gift goal is pinned. So if you would like to go ahead and support me, go ahead and hit that gift goal, y'all. We're halfway there, and I appreciate that. I also have a subscriber goal. You can go ahead and subscribe to that as well. Subscribe. I am trying to make this my full-time content. So if you guys want to go ahead and make me unemployed so I can go ahead and do this all day, go ahead and subscribe and we can go ahead and get up there. All right. Shout out to everybody who's watching me over on the Volcy Thoughts channel. Over on Volcy Thoughts. I appreciate y'all watching me over there. Why? Because weed resist oppression. I appreciate y'all being in the comments and modding. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to Tahir and Libra for modding as well. If you're over on the Deconstruction Junction, go ahead and I appreciate you there. Keep liking the live over on Deconstruction Junction. Don't forget to subscribe to me over on Volcy Thoughts. And if you're watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate you there. If you are going to be part of the Black Atheist Agnostics and Skeptics and Humanists Cookout, that is going down June 13th here in Central Florida. The RSVP is linked in my bio, and you can definitely go ahead and come on out. That will be for Black Atheists, Agnostics, Skeptics, and Humanists, all right? And I appreciate you all for supporting that and coming on out. We're in the group chat right now, and it's getting lit. We're talking and we're organizing. We're getting hotels in together. We're getting the transportations all done. So if you'd like to be part of that event, go ahead and come on down, and I will send you the link to the bio so you can go ahead and come on through. I appreciate you all. We're just looking for more opposition now, y'all. Go ahead and again tap that screen, y'all, and let's go ahead and hit that gift goal. Anyway, what's going on, you guys?
I'm just reading something here from this Arab scholar way back in the day. Do not attach yourself to any particular creed exclusively, so that you may disbelieve all the rest. Otherwise, you will lose much good.
It's a good one. It's a pretty good one. All right, Zachary, I am not rage baiting. Go ahead and come on up, and we could go ahead and talk, Zachary, because I'm honestly not rage baiting for real. An Arab feminist scholar is something that I never. Where is she from? You said she's back in the day. How long ago was that?
It wasn't a female, it was a male. It was back in the early days of Christianity, thereabouts.
They were a feminist? Or he was a feminist?
Not really. He's just simply saying that, because we think we know one thing, we must reject everything else or anything else that questions that one thing. Because the thing about Christianity is that they are, answers that you can't question. And we're trying to live in a world where we don't have answers, but we can find questions. I mean, we don't have answers to the questions, but that's a much better position to be in.
Okay.
As opposed to, answers that you can't question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I get
just
you.
blew it when I try to explain it.
Yeah. That's interesting. I like that. Well, I invited Zachary up. Zachary, for some reason, thinks I'm rage baiting. Like, yeah, why do y'all do that? Y'all always say, "Oh, you're rage baiting." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll invite you so we could talk about it because I'm not rage baiting, and we can actually have the conversation." And they never come up. Like that's I don't know. At some point, I'm thinking that y'all scared to talk about it. You feel me? Trill, what's going on with you, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? I was sorry. I was trying to get stuff in order here, and sorry, I was trying to get things in order here. We're at home, so sorry I was out for a little bit. But what was I gonna say? Technically, you are rage baiting because bold progressivism is very triggering to especially the right, but also neoliberals. So yeah, you're definitely triggering them.
Yeah, man. Folks get triggered for things that will improve people's lives for some reason. Conservatives seem to think that we need to suffer for some reason. Like, the human condition is built off only suffering, and not, we can't thrive off of being a society where everybody gets their basic needs met. For some reason, everyone needs to suffer for our society to progress or improve. Kind of silly, I actually never really understood why that's the case or why folks believe that. But yeah, I'll tap that screen,
with
y'all.
the Protestant work ethic or Protestantism. I think that's where how like America gets its I guess ideological prescription from. That's my understanding.
Yeah, actually, because there's basically virtue and suffering, essentially. I think that's where a lot of the assumptions come from, or a lot of the what I was gonna say again, a lot of the philosophy comes from, is that there's virtue and pain, virtue and suffering. Yeah, I mean, virtue and having faith for a better tomorrow. But I don't find virtue in any of that. I don't find virtue in suffering. I don't find faith being a virtue. I don't find any of those things virtuous. I think that what I find virtue in is building for a better tomorrow. You know what I mean? Leaving a better society that we had when we weren't alive, for our children, our children's children. That's what everyone has always worked for. You feel me? Like people who started these huge companies that work hard for it to leave it to their sons. They knew that they weren't going to survive forever. Yeah, you know what I mean? They knew that they were going to die, but they wanted to leave something for their son, and their son wanted to leave something for their son. You know what I mean? And down the line, like I feel that there's virtue in that, and then virtue in making sure everyone suffered the same way you did. That just seems sadistic to me. I never understood that. All right, y'all. I don't have the phone number yet, but I did link the TikTok link, where you can go ahead and click on that link and you come over to TikTok and go ahead and discuss it with me here. I don't have the phone number up tonight. I'll probably have the phone number up tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it up tomorrow. I think I can. Yeah, I mean, so if I can go ahead and get the phone number up tomorrow, I can definitely take in call-ins. I still haven't fixed that issue of, the guests not hearing the call in, but I think I'll be able to fix that soon, because I know the basic structure on how to do that. But y'all, this Saturday, I'm going to be on with Godless Engineer over on his channel. So I'll be with Godless Engineer on Saturday, and on Sunday, join us at The Roots on YouTube, The Roots Collective. I'm also going to be interviewing with Cynthia and all them. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get it popping this weekend. Sure, you think you'll be able to make it to the cookout?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to make it. I'm trying to go to a more, I guess, out of town things, like get out of town more often. So I'm gonna go to Raleigh for Animazement this year. And I was thinking about going. I think the Black Non-Believers revival is going to be this year for their, I think, 15-year anniversary. So instead of having, because they were supposed to have it this month, based on last year, but now I guess they decided to combine it together. So it's going to be a revival and a 15-year anniversary. Sometime in the summer, I forgot exactly when. So, but I don't think it. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see what when that is. So, yeah, I should be able to make both.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Mandisa recently. I think we're having our events around the same time, possibly even the same day. It's called Reason Revival. That's what she's having, Reason Revival. So next year, I'm definitely gonna discuss it with The thing is, the reason why I started the Black Atheist Coalition, that YouTube and that Discord, is for we can add as many people there as possible, so we all know when our events are going on. We can all communicate and coordinate with each other, because I didn't know that was happening. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know that their event was happening around the same time. So if I knew that, I would have, either try to collaborate with them or try to do it another time. You see what I'm saying? But because I didn't know that, then it's that now we're butting heads on when our event's on. I always think there needs to be some sort of centralized platform for Black atheists and agnostics and stuff like that. There has to be somewhere that is centralized where we're all, speaking to each other or know when everything is happening, so we be able to not only support each other but go to each other's events, communicate, coordinate collaborations. That needs to happen. That's why I started the Black Atheist Coalition, so we can have that. You feel me?
Excuse me, Liz. Thanks for having me up. I got to drop, take care of some things. I'll be back some other time. Thanks again. Nice talking to you.
Not a problem. I appreciate you, bro.
Great combo.
I got to follow him. I didn't follow him yet. Let me follow him.
I'm not sure, what the internal workings was on that, but I'd say my what do you call it? Chapter, the Charlotte chapter. I asked, like she basically just found out herself, so I don't know what the all I know is it had to do with their 15-year anniversary. That's all. So because I guess last year they didn't really get a whole lot of people to come. But I guess they were like, okay, it'll be too expensive to do the 15-year anniversary and the revival. So, I think it's a good idea that they combine it. But hopefully they're far enough apart. I don't know the exact details of what exact day. I just know it's going to be around the same time. I just hope it's not the same day, because I can because last time it was like what 3-day event, like a convention last year, but I don't know what it's going to be, since it's also going to be anniversary. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I definitely want to do something with them next year. I do know they have B.A.A.S.H Con, the cruise that they take. That's something that I would like to do. Now, the thing is with all these events, you can't make them all, because folks got work and stuff like that. But if this becomes my full-time content, then I'll be able to do a lot more, wouldn't I? People. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll be able to do a lot more if this becomes my full-time. Y'all gonna have to, donate and become subscribers and everything like that. You know what I mean? Make sure that I could get the Jubilee. You feel me? If I'm able to get on Jubilee or something like that, then yeah, I'll be able to, go ahead and start doing this all the time. You feel me? Yeah, man.
It could be the next FD signifier.
I could be the next FD signifier, even though they don't like FD doesn't like debate bros. I know that because a lot of people in that sphere don't like debating, because of course debating is not praxis. But I agree, debating is not praxis. We only do these things to spread spread information, spread education, stuff like that. And I don't typically talk to psychotic people. All right, we do got another guest. Hello. How's it going, Hello? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Hi, I'm actually 25. And I actually don't necessarily agree with anything aside from the last one. And I think that that's just a biased one, just because I'm in a phase right now where I've been 6 months moved out of my family home just for graduate school right now. So I'm living in a whole different country. But I think I'm just in the last, I would say few years, but specifically in the last 6 months, just with the new lifestyle change. I have been going through my own like questions and journey, I guess you could say, with my own faith. So yeah, I think just right now, I would say I'm in the middle right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So you disagree with everything but the last one?
No, I agree with everything but the last one.
Okay, you agree with everything but the last one.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So the reason why I say holy books are not evidence is because holy books can really tell us, like, they can give us examples of like cultural anthropology. Yeah, I mean, they can give us examples of like cultural or spiritual history that was happening around that time in the area. We can see like what the ancient Arabians believed, what the ancient Canaanites believed, or spiritual things from a certain perspective. We can get some information around there, right? They can give us clues into what was going on culturally around that time. Now, does that mean that, like, for example, we know that David was actually a real person? Like, not just him being the Bible, but if you go to archaeology in the area, you'll be able to find inscriptions of a King David. And the legends that we see in the Bible of him, fighting battles and everything like that and becoming a warrior king, some of that archaeology we can find, right? And which is not surprising because warrior kings existed. Now, did the prophet Balaam pray to Yahweh to have, fire, pillars lit on fire in front of the priest of Baal? Did something like that actually happen? Or did the prophet Elijah get lifted off the ground with a flying chariot and swooped up into heaven? Did that actually happen? There's no evidence of any of that. You know what I mean? So these things tell us legendary stories, but doesn't necessarily tell us what was actually true. You know what I mean? So that's why I say the holy books are really not evidence. They're just claims of things that happened, and basically like an insight into cultural anthropology, essentially.
No, I totally agree. In terms of just things. So I guess like that's also something I agree with. So that's why I think that feeds into a big reason why I'm in that phase right now personally, just trying to negate what I personally believe and what I've been brought up on. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Is it Volcy?
Volcy, yeah.
Volcy? Okay. So yeah, no, I totally agree. I think in terms of especially the second last prompt, faith being an unreliable truth. I think the two are just like the second last and the last just being very closely intertwined. Because I think for me, it's just the way I was brought up. Because I come from a Muslim background, so Islamically, it's kind of like rooted in the sense of, and I think this also goes hand in hand with the other two Abrahamic religions of just like like being able to separate the human capacity of what it can see and understand and process versus what God all willing actually can do, and like we're underneath that, right? And so like at least within these religions, and so I don't know, I think that's why I'm just in a weird place. And for me it's maybe selfishly I'm just kind of focusing more on just trying to move in comfortably, get my career together and whatever. But I don't know, I agree. And so I think also the third one was a reason why I came up, because I'm guessing you do agree with that one in terms of reparations.
Yeah, I think African Americans should get reparations.
Totally. Okay. No, I'm happy to see that, just because the only reason I'm surprised is because I don't really come up on lives, but I don't know, I like, especially last month during the beautiful Black History Month, I saw so many of us, unfortunately, just even engaging or entertaining this conversation around it not being necessary in certain rooms and stuff. And so it just really threw me off for a second, because it was like, I thought this was just a universal idea, unless it was, you were a little crooked or corrupt, right? For, certain folks to turn against. But I don't know, I think when it comes to that, like I always thought of that one, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Umar.
Yeah, I know Dr. Umar.
Okay.
Everybody know Dr. Umar. Donations.
You'd be surprised.
Gifts.
I've met so many folks in my hometown that are just like, who? But no, he's insane, but in the best way. And so I remember like this one clip, I hope you guys remember, where he had said, like, I think when things really start moving, we get the ball moving, we might have to just permanently freeze the couple of us. You know what I mean? Like put a couple people in the incubator. Like we're not here to off you, but necessarily, but it's just like freeze you for a little bit because like just even right now it's just like it always throws me off. It's like, how do we share so much like aura? You know what I mean? Like we're not even talking just about the similarities of like just the obvious things. It's just like we're one people. Like of course that's the beauty. Like we're so separated and different in terms of like, you know, geographically, culturally, whatever the case is, but like we have that richness and similarity that like ties us together. So it's like it just always throws me off on the idea that it's just like, Jesus Christ, like we're really talking like this and still being shocked when things aren't maybe even just individually profiting us or benefiting us. And it's like, well, duh. Like, look at the division that just happens over obvious things in terms of just reparations. Like we see in Canada, like they're definitely nothing like in terms of just clean people when it comes to like their history and stuff. But it's like at the very least, like just for a 0.5 point, just for a laugh, it's like I have to give it to them in terms of just at least in their, you know, like, you know, their their policy, I think it is, or their charter rights, like their actual policies that are ingrained into their country in terms of like understanding, like, you know, the history and like the things that they have to pay back. And it's still not enough because, you know, I always, you know, read up on just certain updates because I have a brother-in-law who is Métis, and he tells me from like the reserve he came from, like they still don't have clean drinking water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not here to act like Canada's perfect, but I think just in terms of at least like putting it in paper on something, it's like, okay, at least can see like something can happen when the right person actually gets in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Change the fundamentals, but
yeah. Well, here's the thing about Dr. Umar, right? He's kind of an enigma because a lot of things he says are in fact true, especially when it comes to like systemic issues in the United States, the disrespect that Black women and Black men get, not just from our state, but from our each other. You know what I'm saying? So all those things are very true. You know, needing to build institutions that are independent of like the dominant society. I think those things are absolutely true. That's some things that we should be doing and building towards. Now, when he gets into like anti-miscegenation, I'm not gonna be genital watching anybody. You know what I mean? You fall in love with who you fall in love with. I don't think it makes you a traitor to Black people. The only issue that I have is if you use if you weaponize that essentially, like, or if you you use that your interracial relationship status in order to denigrate others, or you compare being in an interracial relationship to being, you know, superior to everybody else. Those type of things that I'm definitely not gonna disagree with. You know what I'm saying? And I do definitely agree with him that Black love in of itself is a revolutionary act. You know what I mean? Because it disrupts a lot of white supremacist narratives and economic strategies. You know what I mean? If two Black people, you know, creating families and combining incomes and creating a legacy that interrupts economic white supremacy. Two Black people choosing to love each other that interrupts or disrupts the white supremacist narrative that Black people are unattractive or undesirable. So Black love in of itself can be a revolutionary act. But if a Black person falls in love with a white person or a Hispanic person or an Asian person, that's just who you fell in love with. Yeah, I mean, but
no, and
deliberately seeking it out is what I always have an issue with. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Don't worry. I actually technically interrupted you, but I'm actually happy you brought that up because listen, I'm Black through and through, like all for to, I think down my lineage, it's Black. You know what I mean? African specifically.
Mhm.
But either way, I think at the end of the day, I'm not here to get into that place where it's like, even with you mentioning, like, we're not here to pocket watch or at least like, you know, race watch who's with who and who's not with who. Because I think even with Dr. Umar, like, I remember seeing a clip on TikTok not too long ago where he even said, like, I've been in the airport and brothers with their quote unquote snow bunnies will look at me like clutching their pearls, scared, thinking I'm about to make a scene in TSA. And it's like, I'll dab them up, look at their wife, and keep it pushing. He's like, I spread my message on, you know what I mean, social media when you show up to my panels, but I'm not here to actually disrespect you, you know, in person. You know what I mean? And so I think he makes that thin line. So I think, you know, that's clear. And so I hate this idea of people saying like, no, you know, relationships, like, of course, maybe relationships when we're young, we're dumb, we're going through school, when we're, you know, whatever the case is, figuring out ourselves, you know, dynamics and who we happen to be with at the time, like those are learning things. Like there's a reason why people date to, you know, figure out themselves, figure out what they can and cannot tolerate. Like it's an experience and, you know, it adds to your testimony when you finally meet your soulmate, right? If, you know, for the folks that are not fortunate to just meet their soulmate straight out of the jump, right? But either way, I think I have a ton of biracial cousins, and I always like, I remember during Christmas, we were just laughing about this whole idea of like, not necessarily laughing, but it was just kind of like talking about the idea of like a race war. And it was like, what would happen? And I remember like one of my cousins whose father is white, like I'm talking about Caucasus Mountains, Germany. And, you know, her mom is my aunt. And I remember she was just like, am I ever going to be in a position where I have to choose between my parents? And I was just like, girl, I don't even know. But it's like, we were talking about just like the abolitionists during the history. And it's just like, we have to remember, like, there were some good people, you know what I mean, that weren't necessarily that look like us, that were kinship. And I always think about Django. You know what I mean? Like that man was acting like he was a dentist / bounty hunter while still helping Jamie Foxx. You know, of course it's a fictional movie, but it's like, I do understand like there were bits and pieces that were, you know, pulled from history in terms of like abolitionists, like putting themselves, you know, in that, like, just not even like, I'm not going to get deep. It's just like they were sane enough to understand like this is insanely sick that we're basing all this horrificness and violence off of race. And so it's like they were able to help and stuff. And so I think there is that fine line, because for me, it's like I've always said Black love is my biggest thing. And it's like I have girlfriends that have, you know, gone into the lobster and pasta dish. And it's like, I'm happy for you, do your thing. You know what I mean? They seem to be good guys. And so I'm not here to judge. And so I think, you know, at the end of the day, just I think it kind of comes to that controversial conversation back in the day of can you really be pro-Black if you are in an interracial relationship? And I think that is a very nuanced conversation because, you know, for me, it's like I do intentionally choose to only date Black men. I've never even, you know, like I'll always give people their 5s, you know, their 10s, but it's like, listen, I'm here to procreate beautiful Black babies that look like me. And, you know, I don't want that Diana Ross effect. Like that was the most horrific.
I don't want a Diana Ross effect. Yeah, same thing with me. Like I purposely chose to date a Black woman. I'm choosing to procreate with a Black. That's just what I choose to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly. So,
but it's very nuanced. Do you know what I mean? Because it's I also have those biracial cousins that it's like, do I happen to be with the Black man or do I happen to go with the white man? And it's like I'm always going to be a little biased. And it's like, girl, you know, between one of those choices, it's like those kids are never gonna look like us. You know what I mean? And that's up to you to decide. Like, I'm not here to judge. We'll still love them the same, like they're babies. But yeah, I think it's definitely intentional. And I think what Dr. Umar is saying, like, let's stop acting like everything's la land. It's like, no, it's an intentional choice. You know that you're grouping yourselves together financially. Like you're bringing yourself, like I'm going to bring you back to my father. And it's like, if my dad can't even confidently and proudly walk around at work and family dynamics, reunions, whatever the case is, and say like, this is my son, like that's not a good thing for me personally. So
Give me 1 second. All right, so I've been having a little back and forth with someone over on my YouTube. Name is what's his name? Yo something. Yeah, Yo Mister. All right, so Yo Mister. The reason why I keep telling you to go ahead and come over to TikTok and have this discussion is because us going back and forth typing at each other is going to waste each other's time. Just go ahead and come on over and we can have the discussion. Now you said that every stream that you've been on and you talk to the person, no one changes their mind. That's fine. You don't have to change someone's mind. As long as you absorb the viewpoints, you take in that information and you expand your viewpoints and your mindset, then the discussion was productive. You don't necessarily have to change someone's mind on anything, right? These don't necessarily have to be adversarial. Yeah, I mean, like I've had plenty of discussions with Christians, conservatives, etc. We leave still understanding. We still leave the conversation with our positions, but the fact is that we have a better understanding of what the other person is coming from, and we taken the information that they gave us to better understand the people from their viewpoint. You don't necessarily have to be adversarial and try to change someone's mind. That's not the point of these debates and discussions. I'm not here to fight anyone or even change anyone's mind. I know a lot of people that I talk to are probably not going to change their mind at the end of the day, but it's more to provide and discuss information and have good faith conversation, not just trying to beat somebody down with a stick or change their mind. Which is why the first person that came up, I dropped them, because they clearly were not up here to actually have a good faith discussion. Because every time I brought up issues of discrimination, all they did was, oh, you guys are trying to be victims, when he admitted that discrimination is a thing. So at that point, I know that he was not trying to have a discussion. Yeah, I mean, he was just trying to get his rocks off, get his racist ass rocks off. That's what he was trying to do. Yeah, I mean, but if you actually want to have a genuine conversation, go ahead and come over to TikTok and we could talk about it. I don't have an issue talking to anybody who disagrees with me. I don't know why people think, but matter of fact, I know why. Because unfortunately, this debating sphere has become basically a dog fight, essentially. It's become a dog pile. It's become entertainment. No one is actually trying to speak to each other anymore to understand each other. We're just trying to fight. And that's not necessarily what I'm here for. Just not necessarily what I'm here for. Yeah, you can.
Important to understand that when it comes to debate, like, I guess one way to view it is like the goal isn't to change the debater's mind. The goal is to change the audience's mind, right? Because you're there to discuss your different points of views as best as you can, and in doing so, like even if someone does have a good point, the other person's job to represent their point is to well, I wouldn't say to disagree, but to agree to the degree that it goes against, contradicts their beliefs. That their job is to disagree with it, whether they're right or wrong, because again, their job is to represent their position. Your job as the audience is to basically think, okay, well, who has the better argument, right? And because, well, some of us are, I guess, debate savvy people, or rather, don't understand how to follow, an argument and at least research to figure out whether that argument has any validity, right? Because we have that ability, that gives us the ability to change our mind. And that's the important thing we have to understand. When you're debating somebody, your job isn't to change their mind. Mm-hmm. Your job is to change the audience's mind to the best of your ability. By representing your position to the best of your ability.
Yeah, exactly. If you represent your position to the best of your ability, then there you go. Yeah, I mean, you succeeded. All right. So here's what I do. If anybody actually wants to come up and have a discussion, what I'll do is what I actually can do. I can stop the TikTok and keep running it on my StreamYard and drop the invitation link so y'all can go ahead and come on up. I could do that. Yeah, I mean, that's possible for me to do as well, but we'll see if that happens soon. But yeah, it's exactly what you state, Trill. Like, you don't necessarily have to change your mind. Yeah, I mean, you can just absorb new information. It's really easy. Really easy. I don't know why people have this this issue of, you know, if I have to, if I don't come to this to this discussion fighting someone, I kind of lost somehow. It's kind of crazy. You feel me? All right, y'all. So I'm still here. I may let's see. We're here for like an hour and 30 minutes. I've been on for about an hour and 30 minutes. I may end the live soon, see if we get one more guest. I'm gonna see if we get one more guest. And like I said, I can yeah, I can definitely start something over on if this one ends. Well, I will have to let's see what I have to do. I typically can't run TikTok Studio and StreamYard at the same time. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see what I can do. But yeah, Trill, if you can make it to the cookout, I'll definitely love to have you there. If you decide to go to the Reason Revival, that's cool as well. I'm not gonna stop you from going. I'm definitely gonna go to that next year and plan the B.A.A.S.H cookout better. And what I want to do with B.A.A.S.H, as a matter of fact, I want it to be like kind of a tour. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all summer, we're doing cookouts in different cities. If I'm able to do that, then that would be great. You feel me? You there, True?
Sorry, I'm working on a home project.
All good.
But no, I plan on well, I'll choose yours because I already been to theirs last year. I mean, that was their first, so only right there I support your first. And you know, I'm pretty sure there'll be a third. I hope that they get more attendees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I prefer, you know, I want both to win. So plenty of space. Heck, you know, it might be might turn to a thing, you know, like because really Black atheists, we need something that's us, that we can build community with, you know. So I don't really care which one it is. Like, as long as Black people, especially Black atheists, are building community, I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. I want us to have a centralized platform. You know what I mean? That's definitely what I want us to have. I want us to have a centralized platform, a platform where we can you know, basically, like I said, like talk to each other and have that platform where we all can post, you know, content and collect and collaborate. That's what the Black Atheist Coalition was going to be all about. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want us to have that. And we'll see if we're able to do it. I hope we can. I mean, I definitely hope we can. And if that happens one day, you know, I mean, that'll be awesome. That'll be great. I want us to have that. You know, I definitely want us to have that. Let me download this real quick. I think I have people over on my YouTube, but they don't have TikTok. So what I might do is that I think we're basically out of guests at this point. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here over on TikTok. But I may still have this still keep going over on YouTube. And I think I'll know what to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this here. And yeah, that's an experiment I'm gonna do the next time. Next time I'm gonna go and do that experiment. I'm almost done, baby. I'm about to get off. What's up, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get off. I do appreciate y'all being here. Trill, I'm gonna drop you for a little bit just for me to do my outro. I do appreciate you. No problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I do appreciate you all being here. Thank you for tonight. We got the 6K likes over on the Volcy Thoughts channel. Hey, I appreciate y'all over on Volcy Thoughts. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much to my mods. Over on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate y'all there as well. Y'all are amazing. Love y'all there. And over on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate y'all there as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. My name is Volcy. You know, peace and love. And as I always end these shows, every man should be soft, be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, be thoughtful. Every man should be soft. I appreciate y'all. Peace. Volcy.